Since the weather is cooler, I thought I'd go to Niagara and just check out a bunch of rock piles that I know of. At the first one, and I already found some really tiny, really crystal clear dogtooth crystals. I thought those would make some nice little small thumbnails. And then I found this guy. It's got a pocket of dolomite with some yellow dogtooth in there, and it's got a fracture all across there, so I'm gonna try and bust it open and maybe see if there's more, and if not, I'll try and get as much as I can of this pocket here. It's got some interesting formations, and you know what, I'm just here to have fun, so I'll take a pocket of dolomite with some dogtooth in it. And here we go. This is a usable chunk. I'll be able to take this home and trim it up and clean it up. It's got some lovely dolomite with some dogtooth crystals, so nice little example. So I went to another rock pile and I found the remnants of some kind of old timer, probably way back when. They came in with like a saw and they busted up a big rock that had fluorites in it. Because, let's see, where are some examples that I pulled off to the side? I think this guy has something. No, that's not one of them. Maybe it's one of these guys. You can, yeah, here's an example. You can see how the old timer came in with a saw and chopped it. Oh yeah, there's a bit of fluorite. Wait, where my finger is? It's quite busted. This was one of the pieces. There. Here we go. There's a tiny little cube of fluorite up there. They probably went after the big stuff, and then they left all the busted and small stuff behind. You can see here's some busted fluorite, and where did I put that? There's a chunk of fluorite that I pulled out that was like pretty is at a cleaved chunk of fluorite. There it is. Here we go. In the pile I found this. It's a little chunk of fluorite. It's like a light blue. I don't know if it shows up in the camera, but it's crystal clear, so who knows, maybe that's something that could be faceted. But very gemmy. But obviously you can see the cleavages of the fluorite on both sides. Fortunately that wasn't whole, but it's a cool little specimen. But then I kept on going through some of this stuff. I was finding like calcites. This one's interesting. I'm going to try and trim this guy up and take that home because that's a nice specimen of calcite. And then I found this guy. Of course, the person was looking for minerals, so they left this fossil behind. And I found the other half too in the pile. So I'm going to try and trim these up and take the halves home because it's a little interesting. A little kind of geodized gastropod by the looks of it. So that's cool. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff. There were a couple pieces here that had some little small fluorite crystals, so I'll try and trim those pieces up and take those home. And then the rest of the stuff I'm just leaving behind. And of course I'm taking this lovely light blue chunk with me because that is pretty cool. I'll let you guys know if I find anything else interesting. So I just spent like the last 15-20 minutes busting this rock open to extract this. I saw this lump of gypsum / selenite. It was heavily eroded, like it's heavily etched just by like nature, and over the time it's been etched, and I just like the shape of it. So I tried to get it off with a piece of matrix. That's the right beside the chisel is where it was attached to, but just the banging caused it to break off right where it was in contact with the matrix. So It was worth a try, but it's still a lovely piece and it's still intact, which is the big thing. So that'll look nice in my display case because it's a very funky, interesting selenite specimen. I found some more specimens with fluorites on them. Now, admittedly, most of these fluorites are quite small. Right there where my thumb is. This one, the fluorite's a little bit bigger, but it's in the cavity, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to extract that properly. And then this one, got a nice little 2 crystal cluster right there. So hopefully I'll be able to extract a couple specimens, and if I do, I will show you them. So I did pretty well. Got a couple trimmed up. I'll do the finishing cuts on some of these guys and trims on these guys at home. This popped out of a cavity. It's a nice piece of kind of like the pineapple calcite. Nice color, so I thought I'd take it, sorry. Here's a bit of etched selenite that I found in a pocket. Nice little specimen. Here's another fluorite. Probably leave this one. There's a couple small ones in there, but they're very small. This popped out of a pocket as I was trimming up a rock for another one, and I opened up a pocket and this little guy fell out. It's light blue, which is pretty cool. But yeah, all things considered, a good day. And I think there's one more pile actually in Hamilton that on the way back that I want to stop at. So if I do stop there, I'll show you guys the pile, and I'll try and show you if I find anything there. Here are some of the best finds from the Niagara trip. They are cleaned up enough that you can get a better view of them. I do still have to do some cleaning and trimming, but for now, for video purposes, they're good enough. Let's start in the back with this piece. This was collected at the beginning of the video. The dogtooth calcite doesn't show up as yellow as it does in person. It's a light pale yellow. And this is a cluster of dogtooth and dolomite on what is kind of a mass of gypsum and selenite. It's kind of a combination of the both. For those who don't know, gypsum is basically the anhydrous form of selenite, and what that means is that selenite is just gypsum that has water built into its crystal structure, so it's a hydrous form of gypsum. But this is an interesting little specimen. It does have some, what I believe is just some like algae and stuff from long-term stuff, so I'll probably have to sit in bleach for a bit to clean off that biological matter, and I'll probably throw it in the vibratory cleaner, the cleaner I have downstairs, to kind of just get some of the dirt out of the cracks and crevices that I couldn't. Next we'll deal with this fossil. It's a bit of a geodized gastropod. You can see kind of the internal structure at the inside, and it probably has a bit of dolomite and calcite in there, but probably most of it got eroded over time, because I think this chunk had been sitting out there for a while, just weathering away. Here we have one of the fluorites that I collected. It's the largest one that I found. Just probably under a centimeter in size. You can see in that crevice there's more of them. Eventually I'll just get this kind of area trimmed up so that it's just the area, the matrix surrounding the fluorite that's on display. But for now, this piece was small enough that I could take it home, and I just didn't want to bash on it anymore because I didn't want to break the crystal through like too many vibrations. But it's a lovely light blue crystal by the looks of it, or that could just be the light shining off of it in a certain way. But a nice little fluorite specimen. Some more fluorite. Here's a nice little rectangular cube of fluorite. It's super see-through. You can kind of see the matrix that it's on all the way through. So that's kind of cool. This specimen just needs a little more trimming, so it shouldn't be too hard to get it properly trimmed up. Nice little example. Here we have in my personal opinion is one of the more unique specimens that I collected. It's a lump of selenite / gypsum that I bashed off of. Well, I was trying to get it with the matrix, but it kind of just popped off at the contact point between the lump and the matrix. But it was in a larger boulder that I broke up. And why this gypsum and selenite is like this is it's been etched over time. So this used to just be one solid mass, and then what happened over time is rainwater got on it and slowly ate away the gypsum, I think, most of the gypsum, and then I guess the selenite is harder to break down, and so the selenite on the inside kind of stayed, and so you get this really interesting kind of like wavy, spiky kind of form. And most people would have passed this up because it's just a regular old lump of gypsum, but I am a sucker for etched and weird looking minerals, so I thought I'd take this one home because it's just way too funky to leave out there. Here we have a nice burst of dog-tooth calcite. You can even see there's a little tiny orange sphalerite there too. So it's a nice little specimen. Just some minor damage, but altogether it'll still display very nicely and it'll look nice in the display case. So I can't complain too much. Here we have another fluorite specimen. The cube is up here. It's got some nice clarity to it. On the back you can see where it was attached to the matrix, and the matrix kind of broke off. So the crystal's not broken, it's just that's the contact point, so it looks a little funky, but it's a nice little whole specimen. This one needs just a bit of trimming, but it's super easy. I just need to take the clippers and trim off this bottom bit, and it should be fine. And it'll look nice in a small perky box or something. So it's a nice little fluorite specimen. And here we have another one, a very small one. Another good little small fluorite specimen. This one still needs more cleaning. The surface is kind of grungy, so it'll probably need a bit of a go in the vibratory cleaner, but after that it should be good. Here's just a bit of kind of stacked dogtooth crystal that fell out of a pocket of a rock that I was busting open for something else, and there was a pocket of calcite in the inside, but most of the crystals shattered, but some of them came out whole, and you can see where the contact point between other crystals were on the back, and there's just some damage on the bottom with a little bit of contact with the matrix still. So just some slight damage on the bottom, but altogether just a little nice example of stacked dogtooth crystal. Here we got another fluorite specimen. I had a good go of finding some nice small fluorites. This one's two little crystals together, one larger one on the left and then a smaller one on the right. This specimen needs a little bit of trimming, but altogether it'll just a very little amount of work, but it looks quite nice. And the way that it's actually fractured kind of leaves this iridescent rainbow sheen in there, so that's cool. But I hope you guys enjoyed what I've shown so far, because I've got one more piece to show, and that'll be it. Here is the last piece. It's kind of a lovely light blue violet colored crystal clear chunk of calcite. You can see the cleavage planes on this calcite, or calcite, fluorite. And it's this lovely light blue, light violet color. Now I'm wondering if I could get a gem color to actually cut a stone out of this, because it looks on the inside, it looks pretty good on the inside. So I'm wondering if I could get somebody to cut a little fluorite gemstone out of this. That would be pretty cool. What do you guys think? Should I try and get somebody to do that? Commission a cutter to do that for me? Because I think that would be a little cool addition to my collection. But yeah, a nice little crystal clear lump of light blue fluorite. A very interesting little find. We have gotten to the end of the video. I want to thank you guys for watching this far. If you're still watching, please also consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. That really helps my channel and supports me and allows me to reach as many people as possible and to share the knowledge that I've obtained over the years doing this hobby with as many people as possible. I do rock hounding, arrowhead hunting, flint napping, and lapidary related videos, so if any of those are your cup of teas, please do consider dropping a subscription. Please, in the comments below, also let me know what were your favorite finds of this video. I found a lot of cool things. And please just have a good week, and I will see you guys in the next video.